Hey there, how are you today? My name is Dana Damara, and you have landed on AstroCast. This is your report for the new moon solar eclipse happening in the sign of Aries on March 29th at 4:57 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So there's a lot happening. There's been a lot happening in the month of March, and to have the month of March and astrologically with a new moon solar eclipse in the sign of Aries, as well as Neptune moving into the sign of Aries, you better believe it's a pretty intense and very important transit. In fact, this coming up weekend is one of the most powerful weekends in astrology for the whole year. Now, before I begin, I'm going to show my screen in a second, but before I begin, I want to encourage you to go back and listen to the Neptune and Aries forecast because Neptune and Aries is affecting this solar eclipse. Neptune and Aries is the one of the transits of the year. We've got 5 slow moving planets changing signs this year, and I talked a lot about the intensity of Mars and of all these transits and things happening. But the Neptune moving into the sign of Aries will help to soften everything. Keep in mind, this is a transit that hasn't happened since 1861. So we have a lot of cyclical energy happening, but things are different now because why? Because we have a broader landscape of conscious beings. We have what some astrologists call a greater awakened, consciousness, so a bigger pool of people who are actually awake. So I don't want you to watch Neptune in Aries and freak out and be like, oh my God. I want you to watch Neptune in Aries and know that one of the most important things we can do right now is be in our hearts, grounded in the earth, and just fine tuning those listening skills. So I'm going to encourage you to watch that. And I'm also going to encourage you to watch the April astrology because April is so amazing. Okay, that's all now. Now I'm going to show you the screen for the new moon solar eclipse. Okay, so first of all, you guys see all those blue lines? Like those blue lines are absolutely harmonious energy. So regardless of what, you see or hear, anything like that, keep in mind that the astrology is this is a harmonious thing. The Aries solar eclipse goes back to the energy from 2 years ago in April of 2023. So if we go back to 2 years ago, we want to look at our relationships and how things have changed. And I don't want you to think of relationships as just relationships that you have with a human, a person. I want you to think about relationships that you have with anything, with habits, with addictions, with thought processes, with mindsets, with, dependency. I mean, just look at the way that you have shifted and then zoom back out and look at the circle of people around you. Look at the energy around your finances. Look at how everything has shifted in the last 2 years. Where were you in April 2023? It's really important because since April 2023, we've been working with this Aries-Libra eclipse cycle, and it's been really asking us to grow and evolve and expand our identity. Like it's been asking us to step into more of an authenticity of ourselves and what we want to say and how we want to move through the world, and where can we be more confident and what isn't working for us. That started happening 2 years ago. So these eclipses, when I say that we're in a portal of energy, when I talk about we're in between the full moon lunar eclipse and the new moon solar eclipse, that's the most potent time. But a lot of times these eclipses really have to do with an eclipse cycle that started, anywhere between 18 months to 2 years prior. So just be aware. This is an endpoint. Let me show my screen one more time. This is an endpoint for so many reasons. And those of you who saw the Cosmic Map 2025, you heard me talk about this a lot. The sun and the moon are both at 9 degrees. Now, the number nine in any religion or philosophy, nine is the number of endings and new beginnings. It's just, it is what it is. Um, and so I would take this new moon to really sit down and ask yourself, like, what have I moved through? Where have I grown? What will I no longer be honoring uh, in relationship or my value system? And what do I want to move forward with, right? So this new moon is really a new path. It's not a path that maybe you even thought existed. It's an opportunity for a brand new path. And my invitation to you is to, you know, look at the energy of Venus, especially now because Venus is in retrograde, and ask yourself, like, what do I value about me, about relationship, about money, about where I live, and, what is no longer in alignment with that? And so this is a really beautiful time to just shake off any old energy and get to a place of like recognizing, like, holy smokes, I have so much goodness happening right now. I want to point to a couple of things here that is so obvious. Look at all those freaking planets, guys. Like, okay, so in the sign of Pisces, we have Saturn, the North Node, Venus, Neptune. Okay, now Neptune is getting ready to move into the sign of Aries. In fact, guys, all those planets will be moving into the sign of Aries. I'm going to say this, and if you've been watching any of my recordings, you've heard me say this 100 times. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac wheel. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac wheel. So understand that we are literally teetering on the edge of something new. This potent cosmic energy happens too, because look at where the North Node is. The North Node is in Pisces, and it's literally surrounded by Venus and Saturn. So it's sandwiched in between those two, and Neptune. Neptune is only 2 degrees away. So if we had a telescope big enough to see the planets out there, we would see Saturn, we would see Venus, we would see Neptune all together right around the North Node. And honestly, Mercury sitting there at 0 degrees, communication, our day to day, like how we function on a daily basis. All of this stuff is being asked to look at with all those planets in one spot, guys. Mercury and Venus both in retrograde, asking us to sit still, asking us to listen, asking us to review, reflect, refine, right? All of it. This has all been happening. It's been like this for the last, say, 3 weeks. Okay. And so I hope that you've taken some time to do those things around relationship. Mars is pretty active in this whole kit and caboodle. So Mars is the planet of initiation. Mars like wants things to move forward. And now, Mars is out of retrograde, and so it's moving forward. And Mars is trining Saturn during the eclipse. Now, a trine is always positive. Mars trining Saturn is going to do a couple of things. The first thing is it's going to solidify some boundaries that we've potentially set for ourselves. It's going to ask us to finally begin the thing that we wanted to do, right? Or say the thing we wanted to say. It's going to give us this sense of bravery and courage and confidence to understand that whatever it is that we're desiring, whether we're trying to manifest something or create a new life path, whatever it is, it's saying now's the time to start the process, and you have everything you need to make this a long-lasting legacy. Mars is also squaring Chiron, and Chiron is the planet of healing. So all of this is about being healthy, focusing on your healing, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, whatever it is, big opening for healing. And then Mars is sextiling Uranus. So this energy is it's going to support you in breaking free from old patterns. It's going to give you this, like, I don't want this anymore. And there's going to be nothing that you can do about it. You're just going to have to make choices that will say, we're going this way. Even though you've been going this way forever, we're going this way. And because it's sextiling Uranus, it's also going to spark creativity. So give yourself some downtime to be creative. Okay. Venus and Neptune will both trine Mars as well. There's so much happening. Let me just show you so you can see um, what I'm talking about. So when I talk about the different aspects or the transits that are happening right now, I'm talking about all these lines. All these blue lines are either a sextile, it's the shorter blue line, or this big line. See, Mars is right here. There's Mars charging forward toward Leo. Yay. But it's making an aspect to all these planets over here. That's that blue line. Okay. Just so you, if you like a visual, I'm a visual, I like to see what is happening, right? So Venus and Neptune are both trining Mars. So this is going to bring in the potential for a love relationship, for a new value system for yourself, for beauty. So like beautify your space, beautify yourself. If there's no romance on the horizon, it's okay. Go romance yourself. Take yourself out to a nice meal. Go do something that you've always wanted to do for yourself. Like do for yourself if that's what needs to happen, but you're opening your heart up to something new. Pluto is sextiling. So Pluto was up in the corner there. Pluto is sextiling the new moon, which is all about empowerment, you guys. This is like one of the most powerful new moons you're going to experience in your lifetime. Somebody remind me if I ever say that again. But for anything I've seen so far, this is one of the most powerful ones that we have. And Neptune begins its new journey in the sign of Aries on the 30th, the day after the new moon. I'm looking at my reflection while I'm talking to you, and I can feel my eyes getting big because it's really, really, really exciting. And I could keep talking about Neptune, but I'm just going to encourage you to go back and listen to Neptune in Aries. Neptune is all about removing boundaries. It's about dreaming big. It's about, really moving ahead with compassion, not forging ahead because you're in survival mode or you're fearful or you're angry or resentful or you want to like prove something. That is not going to get you anywhere. I'm telling you right now. This is all about moving forward toward your dreams with a sense of openness. So, my question always would be, how can you serve? Who do you want to serve? And how can you serve? Right? How can you use your best gifts to serve the planet while you're here? This is brand new astrology. We have never seen this in our lifetime with all these big planets moving into new signs now through July. I will say this, Venus and Neptune conjunct the sun on March 22nd, okay? And that's a Venus star point. So this is really important. This is when Venus goes from being an evening star to a morning star. This governs love, abundance, creativity, money, financial flow, and what we value. So Venus is basically helping Neptune's, like Venus is like, hey, Neptune, I know you haven't been here before, but we're going to do this together, right? It's just this ushering forward. It's going to soften the energy as well. And at the time of the eclipse, I just want to remind you that both Venus and Mercury are both in retrograde, okay? And this is really about patience, guys. Like you cannot be patient enough. I know it's hard because sometimes we can see things or we can feel things in our body. Like I've been talking to so many people and they're like, I can just feel this big change coming up and I feel like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And but there's this little thread of uncertainty and I'm like, well, then just wait because things are going to unfold even more. Huge astrology. It's so hard for me when I'm in class and I want to like talk all about it, but people aren't there to hear me talk about astrology. They want to practice yoga. And I'm like, no, guys, do you really understand? Like, move your body in a different way today because it's so different. So, I just want to say with this new moon, you guys, take some time to be alone, journal out exactly what you want, visualize it. It would be the best new moon to start a vision board, to just start a vision board. Just start it. If you don't finish it, it's fine, but just start it. Start laying those intentions down. If you haven't already cleaned out your closets and done that whole bit, maybe do that. I haven't done mine yet, but I'm gonna as soon as it rains again in San Diego. You guys, this is a good one. If you want your chart read, reach out to me, dana@demara.com. Okay. If you just want more information about astrology, just go to myastrocast.com. And then that will get you just a few little videos about the basics of astrology. I want to say thank you so much, you guys. Happy, happy, happy new moon.